The global economy is still mainly affected by the coronavirus. The coronavirus shock is very important and it definitely determines the economic outlook. It also affected the first quarter economic growth impact, because if you look at growth figures for the first quarter, they were terrible. If you look, for example, at China, there the economic activity contracted by more than 6.8%. Also in US, also the European economy actually had a very bad first quarter. Obviously, the European economy suffered more than the US economy simply because Europe has closer ties to the Chinese economy through trade and investments, for example. But at the same time, the European economy itself was also affected by the virus outbreak. Think, for example, of what happened in northern Italy. Now, in the second quarter, we expect, let's say, the main impact of the corona shock. Because in the second quarter, there you will see the impact of the lockdown measures. The closing of firms and factories and restaurants and so on obviously has an impact on supply and demand. And therefore, this will cause the main hit during the second quarter. Now, the good news is that these lockdown measures are gradually lifted everywhere in the world. And therefore, we expect that gradually the economy, the European economy, the US economy will recover starting from now on. This will go into the third quarter, the fourth quarter, and also into 2021. So therefore, on average, we expect that the economy will be very much affected by the corona shock this year, this calendar year. For example, for the euro area, we expect minus 9.6% growth. But next year, there will be a very strong recovery. A strong recovery that, of course, depends on what the virus will do. If there is a new virus outbreak, then obviously the recovery will take much longer and the economic damage caused this year can even be much worse than we see and expect today. If you look at the reactions of central banks, we see that the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank are all still taking the right actions by keeping interest rates very low, by all kinds of unconventional monetary policy tools to make sure that the economy is stimulated, that long-term interest rates are kept low as well, and we expect the situation to continue. At the same time, we see that governments are taking all kinds of fiscal actions, and the good news in particular for Europe is also that the European Commission joined the member states with the European Recovery Plan, which is actually a recovery and resilience plan, a plan that will give a boost to the European economy in a more structural way. So that will help the recovery, but will also make European countries, European economies more resilient against future crisis moments. So therefore, on the whole, we see that policy reactions are on the right track. The lifting of lockdown measures is obviously good news, so we are rather optimistic in our economic outlook. But on the other hand, we have to acknowledge that there will be a major shock caused by the COVID-19 virus during this calendar year. So therefore, we have to be a little bit patient to really see the recovery starting.